na se che the first way. So now, so when you quenya sabetra kunya why do you then go back to the same people now? Joe Madwin today, and your manifesto about toi, and yet 2 minutes. Say, almost suffer you say, baby, no be. We your questions about Fubisa. Tisabre Dawson. But quickly, back man so na me name. Okay, me hear say menya peripono and a Committee for Public Accountability. Akwakodi enkomo. Ora Collins Osu Amankone executive chairman edema committee no and then some course so vetting committee enim no openi SCOB ekapa obi eka na nikono akasa so won sem kan bi won fi se na bi won mu a mrahwedwafo tutu na jeji mo fi se so mpimpeje mu a ebeboa pa so quickly amafo joining live on Facebook I will say if Dr. Opuni and Sedi Agongo are afraid, it means that the laws of Ghana doesn't catch politicians. Greetings to Charles Otain, aka OT, Incoming Assistant Secretary of Greater Accra Region. Of Fakade, we free New Plan Station, Circle, and our day Ebaim. We say good evening, Nakwasinsia. NDC review means cancellation. Okay. Nana, yeah, and I'm so dear Swapa. Sharif Agons, my morning fashion was a good evening and thank you for the good job that you're doing. So joining you live on Facebook. Adom 106.3 FM. Adom 106.3 FM. Also live on YouTube. And so Adom 106.3 FM. Adom 106.3 FM. You have a second say about Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise. We are catching us a phone papa. Na himfie ene ehon open phone ya ne bo ewo fam. Phone ya be che e de amawa. Eye Franco Trading Enterprise. Papa Franco. Ono no bia bo agene sampa. On the ton phone papa. Eme nyina nya bi eto. Say CCTV camera so na opa. Okwasa ebe kebi. Na eye television so na opa or even 100 inches na ewo. Sa so no wo air condition from 1.5 to 2.5 horsepower. For each Franco atna ye na compare omneba papa bi eto. DPS roofing sheet esu enye. See we truly are your roof expert. Dilemma bites see twabine gina wona so nanya ahoden foforo. Delay man bites twabine gina wona so nanya ahoden foforo. Me kuna so yasemi de burning issues medie. And remember kwa so na me Collins Osu Amankwa, the executive chairman edema committee for public accountability ekwochi egbo ona be wajo admire
yeah na akwasi that's saying
bokona so e
yame adomonia.
Okay, so quick one dey na course so appointment committee eni mu a mukuo mani nye ho
oh me da say me nya no kreni denti a ye ba bontene dey ya no beto ntem ni say it has to do with bribery and corruption na say dey nyina ye nim so say amaya tumpon wo wiase nyina ya amaya esin kete se omo ebekọ atia ketanse ne proye enti emra brantie Oliver Baka bamawo edebatu dwa se eye basunko a omo ne doso aban aso afọ ewo mrahebedwan de friend appointments committee no omo edi ademude ansana omo adoso ministerial nominees no look ni na asem chinchinchi a chese eni enyan di emra appointments committee debatu dwa se oma ye krado se abrantie no emra yes he who alleges must prove it na otu emra na wa chesie the say nti no o make mu se enokre omaja demudi a eno na yehunu say there be you can't be a judge in your own cause. It's even against natural justice. The say nti ehun be nya say enka emrahebedwafo na nkasa for their own collective good no omo ebehunu say anyebia no ye di basunko foforo rather than parliamentary forum eba betina assembly so a ebeboa ama ye beka bewie no ye friend the public trust no ebe koswa ye adwuma dan say omo ankasa asɛm no fa wɔn ho no wɔn mo ɛbɛgye asɛm no aka ɛyɛ nneɛma mmienu na ɛwɔ mu aberanteɛ no akɔka n'asɛm ɔse ɔmo mfa nkyɛ no ɔka no tra wɔnyɛ deɛ di kan ɔkae sɛ 2017 ABC yɛ ɔkae ɛyɛ then minister designate for energy mɛwɔ fa boakye agyako ɔno na brɛ so ɛma yɛwura Joe White Eric QC ne ho to extend say almost suspending even sitting ehwehwe but at the end of the day no still not public no was doubt to say oh say when you mo na mo cancel no eno tin na yen committee for public accountability CPA yen di betu just say we completely disagree with Foruma adjudicating this very issue which borders on corruption and bribery. Na momuno and kayama different and I say independent body rather than parliamentary forum. Emum entna assembly so. Na ote yenka sa pepe na na yefese ye cheremenia.
Na se mon trust the parliament na enwa interrogate sa sebwe. It's na mo call for an independent committee be say omo take over nana.
No. In order not to erode public trust and also weaken our democracy, and I yes to say, yes, you can't be a judge in your own cause. As I'm not a foul who know, yeah, Babeka, no one else at 73. Nippon to say coach Amanta. And if I'm about Babes now, Okrana, over to Menyam to share, as a Quebec, me and I became a Sameboa. And no Basana. You know, public no penya adwene bi say oh we be cry what the hu na budget mu pachotie ni and the budget so abase nipa no betima hwe nyame anim so ata be ditro e de agu committee ni so wabra omo toto na no enti we feel say ne e be ya ensem bi se ba na entiase ye wie hwehwemu no Chabi, betima build the public confidence. Na parliament also akoso kra ne mudie ene chabi na ni monyam ntino. Ehu be hia se enka yema eye basuko dan appointments committee no the friend independent body no dan appointments committee no and as a privileges committee say omo no omo betina asem we so.
But in this case, Nipana yedi kopie mu ewa appointment committee no. Want me unsubstantiate the allegation. And I'm quite yet dowry between or no any committee no. So where lies the disagreement in Tia Emma will be entrusted the appointment committee at Tennessee 8 years as we.
And as an American, on for wadrin call. What the wadrin call, who say if I will live in a country, even competent court of jurisdiction, a court to be to say Supreme Court, which is the final court of the land. Okay, say a 2012 presidential election petition. Okay, say Emra justices no, Eddie Asotre Ebre Emrantie no, and someone Crawford can say, oh, wait here a farm hunti and a modest Asotre name ma womo. Minia, so be we adie. No be tie che obeka se o. Ada na uma nipa foforo dan mo asem ne fa mo ho no ehwehwe mu no. Che yemma baso ko foforo ehwehwe mu a ye be wie no ebe boa parliament na nkasa ebe boa parliamentarians a sabi ya level acts of corruption against them no. Why a member
of parliament paying? Do you think, sir, cases of this nature, no, it's easy for somebody to bribe the appointment committee as a former legislature?
Minya. Met me a can pay, say, Sabi. My embrace be any pay. The air, ya, and say, obeti se obi so mrahye bedwa for omoji adamudie na obi say adamudie no mo kwaje free ni but no so nkyere say mrahye bedwa ni bi ntimi kwaje adamudie etre enye boyfriend ya pa mu ahwe etiosu mosu it in order not to hold brief for anybody no anything na ye call for more appropriate forum to adjudicate this very issue. What you say?
Okay.
Yes, since be fate bako de kodi fan ye from fante for. And someone to tin ye chedi. Entinka abrantie no ene de ono a o say omo fanche no kan no tra. But esan say omo no kafa omo no kototo na no obi be what doubt e wa kire say mpo ehu enema no kokan say oh anya no kre sa niema na ya na nkrofo what doubt na e kire say wan kasa wuntimenti na asem we fa ho eso e de nti na asem eba na say ya fa sa court judge ne say we are recusing him because ebia no special relationship with the complainant and as the defendant. They said we are recusing him from adjudicating the matter. So be it. Nemo mo ne koba se wasem na yakafa wono wa na wasa atwi nipa no etoto na no a you end up creating doubt in the minds of the public.
Yan share baby ekwa eri afaba feel say privileges committee assume it take you over from there the confidence in beba
confidence via ma
yes. Privileges committee so
confidence via ma or they should do away with parliamentary forum because a parliamentarian via tina assembly so.
But if for perception says Ghana for doubting the ruling of even our apex court, DNHS that independent body, Ghanaians are going to trust that body.
And no, at least some level of confidence be because we have people of high moral character in this country. It be a clergy, it be a justices, it be a business people, it be a anti-corruption crusader. So we could select even somebody from Ghana Integrity Initiative. You better justices need be to sit on the matter. What you say? Enti kwasi. And they say yetini assemble people of high moral standards no.
Okay.
No more tina assemble so a ye be wie no. Enya fe no be the corruption perception index bia ebeka say second most corrupt institution in Ghana mrase beja. Wabra yesu bia yen shedan hunu the bipoti a omobo omokro no efri. Ati me ye de ye bo o. Ye bo se ne be ya ta ensem a ye de tototo hwe Ghana ha. Interesting thing is say obi kwakoye research about corruption. Obi koye research about corruption.
Yeah.
Obi who say Ghana Police Service, which is the main law enforcement agency in this country.
Yeah.
Or generating questionnaire na obi abesha be police for ya from for. Police for you corrupt. Yes. Police you corrupt. Then you ask yourself say, sebi. Obi owa police ni pan shedan GBBM free no. But what it say you police for you corrupt police here. It's a perception. It is that perception no fa questionnaire ne kra man no conclude say police no take your offense. Meanwhile, who share acts of corruption also at a GES, a Ghana Health Service. Who share the course of schools, secondary schools. In fact, there's a four, Omuyamu, Eviamu, Chechenche, Edicosi, and one. As Uncle Phone, Nano, Yanka, one more by about politicians. But we think that people must be held accountable and responsible at every level.
But you see, Collins, I think moving forward, the people are even expressing diverse opinion about the way I measure corruption. if the measurement of corruption no based on perception, then maybe we are doing ourselves a great disservice. Because I didn't also be in our dream say Collins also man car no be ye MP koto Kent no where you corrupt.
Unfortunately, that is the word we live in. Perception. Oh, many akwasi where you corrupt. Oh, many chansu many no na ye juma. What did they mention where you corrupt? And so no one ni na fa na ni hunu corrupt at be about it or they are told so. What you say? And you know, that perception, which is not the reality. It's into a judgment, sense of judgment. Oh, they say, and no, and now, that is the reason I make us say, in our quest to combat corruption in this country, yes, sir, Kwanya Yafaso, say, you cook at a Senate project. Preppy, no, you see, need more do. Oh, I know now, a branch here, no. It's not the first time I let you say, I'm not sure yes, I am a no. What the deep and abandon that animal for the deep crophobe, or not, ne Facebook, now, why you supposed to be out there too? Now, what the chrono has to be so, now, in Central Phony, be also a mom pebre, no mark of it's a lazy journalism now are picking from Sahani Post to know the about mainstream. The next day, no, now topical issue. Then you see people reviewing a newspaper about that issue now. Obi and answer that. And you go be hoofing. That is the kind of country we live in. You know, media may experience Kakaminya as former secretary to APNAC, African Parliamentarians Network Against Corruption.
Yeah.
APNAC. I was their secretary when I was in Parliament. Now, may who say when it comes to corruption, dishonest dealings. Corruption may occur in many forms, many forms. It in preppy, you know. Over to the word Junior Boo, be say where a proyene cankai. By reality, no, your proyene cankai. The old for what Junior Corona, one and up proyene cankai, no, a diacotene. What you say? And we think it's a wrong forum to adjudicate this very issue. Parliamentarians now you can't say for months or more actually panabet now say oh now see akwaji bibi no. I mean how do you conclude on that say we are managing to Yama independent body. If we ought to be serious in this country, Yama independent body be now you
Collins Fachebe Collins Osu Amankwa Ahumano Ate Atom. Collins Fachemi. I think we will try to reconnect now here up in Komono AM. So Komono nyina about a year Oliver Baka Voma or Esquire. As Modibe Tuja na ono se Ketasheni Adom JB Akwasu Amrashibi film appointment committee no. But eno kopium one went me and father said ye be a chresa and chintinum. Or did to mu etching asem no esaye, epa ho acho. Ama pedifo cracker chance at a sadia. Onko na baby or tres ansem no eguyano, onko pipa, enfa every honum. So quick, when we say good evening, I'm watching you live at Aguna Nkum. In fact, NDC don't have anything to do for Ghanaians. Still, we love, still MPP will come back again. Okay, Ochre, Aguna Nkum. Actually, the way for Aguna Nkum, and they a buy. Where should the say, arrogance has started. Ghanaians, ye better ye bigger. Regards to Honorable Charles Otin, AKOTOK, Comensa, Edwefree Pillar 2, and also Eddie Efree. So, me join live on Facebook, Adom 106.3 FM, Adom 106.3 FM. Ja comment, Ewohona, Yankenka FM. Also live on YouTube, Adom 106.3 FM. You can see a from Swedish Culture Center. Come on, can see a babedi AM about a year committee mampeni atuna ye ate se yemfa enhwe enkomodi ebefa so aboa mo man Ghana sikasem etimi agina naso eye pai ene ebe nipa bebre ekire adwene ahodo bebre ene wo ho yenko dem perifo ba ko a omaben enim di o sikasem ho Dr. Patrick Asumi o economist ene ko di enkomo enfa saa ba sumku amampani atene odwumadi a wo ba be di ho. Doctor, good evening.
Good evening.
Akraba ko de
Adom boko so.
Ya de yame ase. We ne kabeka se ne papa mu a Sama pani ati bedwoko se womra ye nchen na bedwoko ne mebisa yen ese ekwam ne betimi afa so toto ma isi kasem na etimi agina ye menim nimdie ne suon ya wo ewo sikasem tutu emusa anamontui uhu ne sai
Yo so we are say ansana ye beto abano suggestion bi ana o manpanyin ne part o mo yeseu omo ba be mo omo be ye sa forum no na chese oma mama fo ato adwen ye hu se de oba oma no sika sem ne betutu ni ye na omo ba en so was set up committee no generally no I think they step in the right direction. We Ghana, Ghana man, the basic customer could do no. It's enquiry, I did enquiry cry. Now, some so they need back, need tobacco, Jenny tobacco pet never. And so, over Castle, young social doing, young to doing now. You problem so this year so on because so we understand non financial or invite businesses or invite all the stakeholders no be ya ready to no be problem or ni nyina ya to say yen ni say ni nyina gituma esa we implement a program no kra unya a lot of resistance and now say baby is kasema koduro no say be share solve no he sacrifices now so we yes are kind of arrangement now no be at and what will be any say the isiko in because of being sacrifice or better say the entire also yes sacrifice and generally the idea say we be international forum now to join the longer term solutions be my Ghana economy and the idea for us.
Okay. So other argument and also about say one the manifesto NDC Eddie we need 2024 elections was tagged as the People's Manifesto. Munchiri mu eba say amanyoko no eti bejoko montisi montenso ene Ghana de share the various groupings awodwe wo omemu ene di nkomo saa adwenkyere nsusuye no ene kabo mu ne de saa manifesto yere aba be win election. So the issue is saying knowing how to manage the economy from the Ghanaian perspective there could because a part ni nyaye according to the drafting of their manifesto the why then again yes go back yes ko ji amanfo adwenkyere bi nya double work ne ye
well sir
Jim FM
the real omo manifesto them they say omo ye kon in fact some be omo consultation ehun amanfo said on problems it na the party manifesto no enye national document we Ghana we need to do say kwa ni manifesto ade o and enye say assembly omo kan manifesto bia na France obia no be adwen fine be a manifesto the process no mo be identify problem there be a more specific solution and modeba no if you know better ideas assuming say problems now more identify and monitor manifesto no cry no a computer and not just say ideas now modeba no ni nyina ye and only the best ideas are the best of the problem now more identify and of your businessmen and I say other academics, this part of the say or modo many block manifesto who they womb. In the manifesto no yet one party the real Muslim Hunyoma, and the idea of Mujin say omuye be na Ulma National Forum Nesana. Necessary. Omo nye political. Omo nye we know omo very good expertise. But they don't engage with the political process. They might have their own ideas. It's a national character now. Engagement level no also and at least ideas in the paper no young can say NDC for ideas. It is an implement here a more national character. And yet necessarily say a double work. I think that we know a consultation we are for manifesto more grassroots.
Okay.
We know a little bit more experts, I think.
So, Doctor, as on my, don't we know the fundamental challenge of our economy?
Fundamental challenge on this, because you know, is the data. I think that the main problem is that abandon problem now. Structure of the economy is problem at all. They see finance at a problem at all. Now, so a best solution, sir. There are many alternative solutions.
Okay.
And you know, we propose a solution. We found be a weakness, and I see the strengthening. They are strengthening. And you know, even though you're in problems, you know. Sometimes the people a bit the different dimensions grab about through the discussion. The people who cry, "Yensha Daniel home." Inti say you try to say you cocoa na say the or a living so say you na you cocoa na say ideas a bebano. A idea in that it still has a value because at this point you know you na ni akwadwene ho ni na ya jiatu say you ni say. The unity of purpose cry, you the bear approaching cry. I don't see good.
But amount for being so wants to be about say the solution has always been on our table, but political will to implement it any challenge. For example, and near how do I cry at the free amanone at the bay krumwanumi? A beam to say a one now who are politically inclined at a timid surgeon. Now, nipa na bi making ne niema okra e de fra mo no ne bank e betime bi emamu no eno na oye ye support a party ma party ni ba power and na party na ba power party ni be det nya ho ne amama mpani aka cha ne say importation of a beer this particular goods e betime anya bi e wo emamu etime twam that political will amount for fee say oh my Ghana yenni. And it's some of the challenges they go through ni nyina no ye come to ebem so say yes, should be a national plan for our economy. The country has always been running on political manifestos. 80 NPP bar or some befa benkum, NPP NDC boss member fenifa. But the right way for us said, I had you know yet to say the next 10 years. This is where we want our country to be. No, I'm not for saying should any.
I think that economic solutions are your proposal any with a party generally in party opposition or more ideas grab by party in government.
In government, yes.
And to be honest, ideas because fundamental problem they said that's science. Into ideas not there. Generally you know say your ideas, the political system now you run, a big contribution factor. You respect say, who convene national forum? Young Kakao original ideas name. You can say okay. You name ideas we need to say jitum. Now political system you identify challenges. The DNT na you may see the in the bit of political commitments, and if the policy makers, any political heads, if they are truly honest, the ideas back going to be implemented. then we see how we can go around it. Okay, sir. Example, I would mean. Obienu say in the main, omo in charge of importing. Either say almost sponsor political parties, and now say in some cases politicians now directly. One thing they say, in the Okotan baby say, Okotan foreign biases you explain say. You can come up with a solution. For instance, main solution I'm going to say, Sadiano, Ubia, and only the means of living. Businessman on only business over importing your organ on the sale. So, okay, that's what can important. A quite a fast one. Or policy, not any because I don't need a livelihood. So, you come up with alternative idea, okay, and castle. In fact, a profit a win. Okay, you say profit in on ya. I can say, okay. O capital now would be important. You see, the person the one now, the important why yen Ghana? Because okay, say, Ubi from Korea, this is no, Juma. Company.
Sure.
In Luca is a yeah. Now, so we acquire, in fact, a profit, we are the Ghana, and that's a profit in the new side, a vessel for Tokakra. At that point, Ubi can say, oh, I didn't idea about you can support them. But the issue say, jobs no na say create no Ghana ha o support Ghanaian economy o support Ghanaian cedi and I say ya yo so no benya intino why don't say you catch on say okay you dey o yen Ghana ha nya sampa so na say we dey adwuma ko be na we dey pressure be cedi no so no rather no we say we be boss cedi no and we be Ghanaian economy the be say okay intino political will, political system, no dear. A big part of the conversation, and I'm hoping that meeting number one, that conversation, you know, now you solve what's our problem. Say you call, and I say, technical solutions. I address political issues in the necessary. You solve a problem.
Doctor. Emena say nwe hwe hawa jumedi na be call a day afa na hwe the commitment from Abino say ode amanfo no ensem no ebetimi aye adwuma because because say the factors behind our creeping economy no ya na ebikrasi esukra che pani credit na to mana no sometimes say Omaya no ho de sore wosu a ya na yesene kono because the ideas na kasa de benim idea ye be revamp economy a any book bi emu Ghana hanom some kwamuni bi kra kire ade o school mu
can ideas no de ye suggestions be ya ye be implemented hono inti you de mumpa na fese at least you find the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. That's it.
Same say we make you suggestions. That's a young father. We be to make us one make suggestions.
Sure.
Now we make you suggestions. That man for necessary. If Oman I imagine so move.
Dr. Patrick Asumi, economist, better see Pianumre.
Me da sense. Me chair etifo nyina.
Etifo Joso Edo said Mrunya Breni etwetwe enkwonti. Dr. Patrick Asumi eye economist and I'm to say yene no edi enkomo. But also perspective say ohun say eye double work bia na yakwa akoye but yemfa adwenkyere no enko. So no say common kwesi ye no. The political will no. Any other things so man no high. The political will of the government of the day to implement a near betimi aboa more mine etimi edi no. That's our challenge because the solution to your challenge in them no most of our class 3 textbooks now can the solutions are there. The solutions to get Ghana out of where we are no, they are there. But who will take up the charge and say this is where we are going as a country, and me as president, no matter whoever will head. Me the way ebeye adwuma yama ho kwan ama some of the business guys no both local and foreign are taking center stage in our political finances, political campaign finances. So here it becomes difficult unless when your president Rebecca 17 more day. May you bunia ye de tia, but I know so to be our party cramp. We've had a situation in this country. The former mayor of Accra, as who 2 amount for a baby or mote, because Mwa and Mokrumu empty. We had a national organizer of that party telling himself, "Penny, unim kwefas win election." So at that time, the mayor no office, oh yeah, the papa bet me abua, aman cry crunum emwat no so jai. Because whilst you are thinking about governance, somebody is talking about political vote. If you are unable to marry it well, you are not a challenge, but you're challenging, fighting for the next meal. And they do baby a dream. So nobody is willing to sacrifice the political power for the progress and development of the country. My party be free, so and medi. My party be kwedi and medi. But the conversation always be say, what has your party done in such a way so the next 10 years your party create this war and they are to bet me abro. That should be our focus. Ask yourself, say, ene se jomama wie na NDC create me anto aso a dear na jomama age the next 10 years can help sustain your business. So you think there be a kokoye and I'm a party na be my party now we are or mining can kono there be a bedemia. Yes, political parties are there to win political power. Governments are there to take decisive decisions that will help better the living condition of the people. But when we have that clash of that governance and political power with the political vote, the politician always go for the political vote because you also want to enjoy power. Enti ka obi na more mine ADM ya no. And into obi kura wo opposition kwa no express opposing view to near abino ediba mwa. You be classified in as or the yaman yourself, but then you also himself near the smesiking and a boy. The political will. A man who do a 2 and born edging on now swinging them. Because you're Democrats, we need to do something about it. Yeah. Ghana democracy, we need to do something serious about it because this kind of democracy is not helping us and doesn't bring development. This kind of democracy, yeah, Ghana air practice no, and fact development ember. It's about me at Tracia, no, I train 3 months to election. Ya kwanya wo or maybe you know betu you go tell guso. Aye. Just to get a political favor from the people. I did a bit to me and a challenge, no. Let me read a man for a message your body abba. So far, dear, a cow, ebra, but in America, so President Mahama, even quiet the daily talk, because there are some of the decisions you want more. It will fight your own government, it will fight your party. Maybe it will be the panacea for a man here na ye komuno. But because the NDC is a political party, you weigh it over Fasua Ghana Fubenya. So yes, a year, you kwako shia will be at the father doing to the Emra. Yemane koko yes say. A similar decision adding to be abba. Sense to bet me a boy ye pa. But that same to bet me a higher party than my party lose 2028. And I said, Yenya non 20 year for the bet me a boy my party we need here. Then the uncle crank ye. We have had series of meetings upon meetings or memo. We're still fighting the same challenge you have been meeting over. Near a dollar CD committee. I'm saying, so how one mean baby and free. There better committees had $1 and crabby journey chain there be Africa mini baby has had him through. Ghana, are there better committee be say? ebi abasabasa ye ekosom security for quarters na ye tu one sada na sada bon be koso pa and I ask myself say home no money di na so pa home ne so pa men and the multi committee to deal with the dollar and the dollar be pay akosro pa ya meet is doso ya kasa doso. We need thinkers, action men. Yes, we are there to win political power. But say ya mo ye ni anko o man hu a ye be ko besi en ko besi mu saa. O ze obi apesu odwane ko amonone. I'm on a silver platter to see America how it is today based on say sorry an America be America. It took certain hardcore decisions be affected the government of the day. That is what our politicians don't want to hear. Once a be affected political fault inquiry, there be from Oman and Kwada. You're challenging, no. So, Mr. President, if it's going to be the usual talk without political back end here, then I'm sorry. You civil man sick from that because dialogue there they be tones you. There behind dying. Conference center there behind you be Gia Bontin baby, you be Tom Pata de Suodum. If you know, so we don't have the political will to implement some of the hard decisions, we should stop it. We should stop it. Meetings or Ghana doors or dodo. Hey! Meetings are too much. We meet over the same issue. So it seems we are not making any progress. But every day, people are called into board meetings. Every day. People are called into board meetings. And yes, we are from the same thing we have been complaining from 1992. Cabinet committee, the same thing we have been complaining from 1992 till now. That's the same thing we go to discuss. But Maka is a political will. Nimdien woho, me see an offer class 3 textbook. O form say you see mass I say na kwa ken kan kra be hu say e kwa be fa so Ghana kon betimi arrive kra wom. But why they be nya okudu implement? Why they be nya okudu? So Mr. President, we wish you well. We pray this will be a game changer. We pray so that this dialogue will be a game changer. This dialogue should help us end that talkative no. Yakasache. Nieko yedim. Mamiko Mansuna mene the member of parliament Madesha of Wanse Ayeribi, former Minister of Information, former Minister of Works and Housing. Honorable Kojo Opon Kruma and Kwatrin Kobo. Honorable, good evening. Bokwanswe.
Yamiado.
Yada Yamias. Economic dialogue, I hope so. Beko.
Minimum she say, depending on she say, then a big idea.
Okay. Honorable, we have former Minister of Information. We now we are preview to economy no a year pa. This dialogue, who is saying?
Dialogue no. First of all, near the Pufro. Prior to 2012, near Tayebi. 2014, Abrana, Mampeni Mahama, president, no, National Economic Forum. MPP Babemu, 2017, 2018, any different National Policy Summit. I know na economy, no, one side, near infrastructure to another side, near social services, so the other side. Intenya de fufo it is abani to aso ayade. Secondly, no say ye bibi wa ben mu a yama ban na so ati say dialogue ne dia na forum no de okona say nema mi no bi wa mo ani anko ho a obi we na wa shista keke. Next one and say ideas na pa na say ideas are very different feasible ideas how the adwuma ye. The ideas ni feasible na quite say asem no bi so ni ti no bi ato ni nine no bi ato ni nsa unya opportunity bi abra implement because ideas no any ideas I would na ideas that putia ne ho vai no ase na utie vet na minister or say oba special initiative no or say women's development bank no or no na oba behwa ye ho adwuma a special initiative of company we were trade minister by no or also ka bibi fa ho suggest so no bedema women's development bank na ye adwuma to vote at across purposes and then answer finance minister so no oba be creating nyuma meanwhile other sector ministers were no creating nyuma and it is ideas no start here confused sir Obeko conference the babat unya BBMP. The talks me no so say ideas no so unya ideas that hot contain kuna say one focus on implementation no implementation na nya dwuma so a o say ideas ni na kakata so we call 2014 by no after by December May by December ye first implementation report and one no from the two baby it reach na so mo IMF kokopemwa and a policy credibility name direction. Yesterday about 2017-2018 say there could be ideas not for fair, but implementation they do the implementation I be the and the answer fully am I in your facility. Never me no idea bomb cocoa. The idea bomb cocoa and say, oh my ideas linear feasible. Secondly, more focus on implementation. Name when na chire no ye osrubi yesuru a ye wo ye mienu de di kan ne se uti omo komo na kamea ye pe onom we no so omo ko chichire djuma de ba be ka kire en se ideas that omo de promises no omo ba ba mu ne ma mu nyento mu tumi for Philip Mrs. Nibi
oh sir
ye hope say nyesa net because uka almost statement now almost say forum no na eba beboama yehu the true state of the Ghanaian economy and with great respect ye here forum we answer yehu the true state of the Ghanaian economy because Ghanaian economy no eho details ni na no enye politician bi na bekire and enye expert bi na bekire ye wonyuma ko akese e wo Ghana ha se ya omona omo chichire Ghanaian economy ho imitieni na the Bank of Ghana on the their friend of summary of economic and financial data. Oko Ghana Statistical Service on the GDP growth data. Ghana Statistical Service for now inflation data. Consumer price inflation, producer price index on the in ope a kaya there. Ubenya annual public debt report mo. Inti information here now about Ghana economy no. Enyuma kuwa hudo o memo hase ya omo publishes information no. Unyi ni ya IMF bema data, unyi ni ya World Bank bema data. Enti sa o kase o titire conference bi na o de ehu Ghana sika sembe bi jina pa. Obi otiase bi an yembehye ne se na send the opposite hu anya conference because information o report no are. Eno na ma bi mu suro se ase ban ne person titire adwuma no ko ba be ka kire se obaye ne sene ne matini ntino otumi ndi ne boshe ni na so eno ye what suru ba ko aye wa ye twe omadwen agina so ene se stafino mo kodwen kwan on be handle economy na ko so kan o moyi na point 3 no say economic policies in fact point 2 no say or so o mo ko chechire homegrown fiscal consolidation policy. Normally, I'm a finance minister. I'm a day in Ejuma. Kafino mokwa ko chitre dia. Mo iram kakra because senka ansana obeba bemun wo shebono. Nanka wa chitre fiscal consolidation strategy. Into utumi kra gina so de shebo say me ba say na me yito we fi o me say. So ka so we ni na fi na mokwa chitre sa strategy no. E dia ma finance minister so on fembe budget ebe mo bia bisa senti dia wo kan o campaign ni so no eno se say what ne ana said den so wo ka say point number 3 afi na mo kwa handle mo economic economic strategy again we be bisa question say nanti economic promises mo ye no na ni nyina so won say nti hospital slow kakra me say e wo bi mo but yenka ni na mfo ano me gidi say omofre economic dialogue na obia bihu ebete enkomo no senia akwakosi na be ayede ye adwuma be ye no nyina ya bo ne de adwuma.
So na wade ba ko a said that wade ka emma ye mfato ho economic dialogue ya ye bebre wo ye mai emu. But them say implementation are yet challenge. What has been the challenge ye to be implemented? And never your coach go krata so fe e betimi abomo man no esme nya gina pen papa bi agina so. Ne asa bi esa fa nkofo kogu dem se ekopa adwenkyere e fro dem abu man.
Make implementation challenge no ba ko ne say three be solutions ni be nye feasible. E bi na make us obeti na two ministers o man sem no mo kan no nsi ani we the number nkum na we the number mfa. Ti no dey by implementation a be confusion. I know your first point. Second point so say to be a bind and kasa mu coordination no. Say ko we ne agree we say ne be na why na otna po na abrani abrebia wa free ministers ni na ne di ekire say o target na obey ho adwuma 3 months ni wo di abey adwuma 3 months ni ti ye mark obi a na gina mo so aka mamodi adwuma. Say sa implementation no anya adwuma abon se bibia to see. The last time I near war, in fact, 2017 to 2020, near war monitoring and evaluation.
Yeah.
Dr. Koto say I want the baby cook. But I was a bad second term. No, near Sheda ni monitoring and evaluation. The one idiot trainer somewhere I can hear the ayajuma. And this is last one. Say na sa function no as a questionable account. So for more ad hoc group. Say implementation advisory group. And the no. Implementation no anko be. First point here feasibility. Second point we implementation mechanism. One or headmaster ukura ba udi ubia chi say omunye ho adwuma. And the last point here civil servants omuna say politician former policy directioner omde adwuma. The quite be na wo fa so as minister na chief executive why the FN execution management was civil servant for no so. Monya krata we inquire na by Canada ade we say yen ni anje approval wa say bo say edi be 2 weeks then na musa we amba we I say medium so say those are the 3 levels my implementation no eya enko nem na no ni ade e what aban ni to me hwe o to me hwe de a enka bibi papi efike na ba.
So is it not because sometimes you were opposition yeah, now you casted doubt about some of these state institutions a bit to me, the real figures of our economy. Say a Ghana Statistical Service, say a Bank of Ghana, say a Kube. It's your bar, yeah, now Eddie say bit me rely on this same institution now. You castigate you, I'm wise in opposition no, to rely on them so we may figures and find your eduma.
And any politicization because I was here building strong state institutions. Institution that can't someone. May politician, if you are sending chilemu, and I was between chilemu from a political side. Not the institution, no crampono. Sabi metal money on ma discrediting institutions. No, we have we are near. To mean now more data so near Juma. We say I feel now be fair conference now I read the new state of the economy. That's what I say. Yeah. And the idea any way politics no more. They also say, yeah, we are. Ghana Statistical Service for because inflation you do 54%. You know bank. Edi two mu say okay, you be ho adwuma. Yeah, ho adwuma no one on buy because say me be do say 23 to 22%. From Ghana ban of because the monetary policy committee rate, MPC rate no and say you know the adwuma na or meeting next time or month. Maybe I didn't do to make me activate the one I be. But to be a boss, a bit baby, or mine no make mana growth, or mine put to a more pija. About 7% 3 years, average 7% 3 years. You know, this was a yampa. The yampa was about Bema, famous field, a conference, no number institutions. Yeah,
ora minim ba bia wonnam ka aso wo man ehwetwe sikakra wo down kakra maya
fache me kaka fache me kaka
okay fere
yeah about opposition I was said state institutions no your respective state institutions, or data on the babano. So your interpretation be it midima. But hello?
Yeah, honorable.
But and yes, the Obekana na dispute. Say feeder routes, ni highways, ni route ministry, but the catcher say Akufo-Addo buy 11,000 kilometers of routes. We share that because of politics. Into now, so we 600 penny. Let's just report no one in and what could you want small part? And all the Oba sport to say, as we present a conference now, they have heard the state of roads because they turn in favor. To say it's pretty data. Official data, and because of the argument, they must say, well, explanation and answer solutions be a non pay politics. I beg.
What about mu paying or may you want national development plan?
I will be. You will. I would want your long-term development plan NDPC for a year. And your short-term, in fact, a medium-term development plan. In fact, your long-term development plan, NDPC for a year. And your medium-term development plan, 2021 to 2025, and also NDPC for a year. And no, who we near bar. Ghana Mra Kuni Article 36.5. I say, why ideas are they called campaign? No, Yentry into the friend a coordinated program of economic and social policies. And who we nearby we are NDP for number Joe manifesto no, always in Kunya, no converting into a medium-term plan. Then out of some medium-term plan, no, who are Fibiano, Ubi Kaka at the Abba Parliament say economic policy. Even though Abeka's economic policy, all the other sectors in our country. Now we have the budget has carried now they are back. It's at 3 different levels. Yeah, what problem in this there? I always say, young politician for a year campaign now. Do na see long-term plan no. Suppose that the promises need to be no. Any long-term plan no. A bra. And admittedly, long-term plan it to be also a steer off kakra. But in Kadibe Boapa, say, Ubia man and long-term plan. Then, secondly, medium-term plan no crampono. Make your ponko mama dream dear. Senia, ye no sabri, and yet into a manifesto 2024. Now, you can say about Bemoa. Ye bet you have 6 months. They say, no, I bind it in 1 year, na plan. Do some first budget here, and connect it to medium-term plan. Because only a medium-term plan. Only a medium-term plan obey November, December at the earliest, and now next year. It was a first budget, and follow plan. If a first budget, we will say the proper more. I will say follow plan that was the same, which is 2021 to 2025. But we will say I bind the DVT start here a new policies via one and confirm to plan way, and two and follow plan via. And the long-term development plan they do na yana in this as political class in this.
I want not Ghana for say because I say ye permitting see ye do. Ni aye de agu onum sa ni asaba ya the front na ni asa the fight the same solution na bia ni to a paper ni a print sa. So the issue is it because the NDP in this room you have pe kwan bi so politicizing it no say MPP ni eba because say NDC abane yi the head of NDP sintino the report na kasa kro trusting yi etina ma mempa from fantunche na mkopen papo from bra na NDC ko na MPP aba also mean trusty ni NDC they buy. So how can we get our national development plan no to work?
And no partly because constitution no any NDP mrano. And on the my appointments you be a politicized udika. But the way out will say amend and no na ye nyankofo or more shedanye artisan appointment ewo. In the plan on be the ato ubi obebe biano it means that plan we say a national medium term plan to me this one na me this so. Okay manifest 2024 anymore. Ye the shame say ye buy be amend this laws no na yama appointments no I institutional By the time I be we not a plan that the planner. Ubi aba on cast away MP before the bay plan way to want me bet. Baby was a national plan at that why
Okay.
at the year Juma. But even be that as it may no put it crash any econo. And can form committee in term na year medium term plan in term. So that our budget it will follow and our economic policy no it will follow at least plan be a war. 1 year is there both the plan that on the year no follow now also the way and follow plan be a enti ye koye nim no de ye de ye nya kwai ba ba mu a of course ye be amend na ye nya nkofo a omo ye institutional representation nti omo hye plan medium term obi anim say we medium term plan and political but abre ya ye nya no ye be saban ne say onye ne ntem na wa plan a eno no de ba ye dwum.
Okay, Honorable, me my own course is menya a member of the committee, Professor John Gachi, Ewo Ahumana Eso. Prof, good evening. Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Uchi nerd in the air, but we ever try. We're going to manage it.
Oh, I beg you.
So, Professor John Gachi is a member of the 7-member committee that President Mahama put it together to hold this economic dialogue. So, Prof, tell us, what do we seek to achieve with this economic dialogue?
I think we expect to achieve a lot. We expect to achieve some kind of cohesion, cross-fertilization of ideas, injecting confidence in the management of the economy. We want to see stakeholders feeling that they are contributed to what is being done to move the forward. So that is what we are going to achieve. And I must say that political parties have different characteristics. They have different historical development. So that is why you have seen that even when the NDC has its roots in the PNDC, this kind of engagement were going on. You could also see in the past, we experienced the Century Accord, which is similar to this. So it's a characteristic of the political party that want to ensure that people contribute to whatever they are doing. And if you also see where the NDC has put its manifesto in 2020 and 2024 with consultation with the people, validating and further validating whatever has been agreed on to reflect the interests of the people. So that is the characteristics I've seen for the NDC, and that's what they are pursuing, so that the overall goal will be reflecting the all stakeholders.
Okay, so if you talk about the stakeholders, what are some of the stakeholders who are going to be engaged in this dialogue series?
The stakeholders are broad. We have the financial sector stakeholders. We have the business people who will be represented by various groups. We have those in the transport sector. We have those in the tech sector. We have those in the educational sector, those in the health sector, the intellectual group, the policy-making groups, the CSOs, those in agriculture, and the rest that is broad, to reflect on the agenda.
Hello? Hello, Prof? Hello, Prof?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So now, also help us
and don't forget the media.
The media,
also
okay.
is a key stakeholder.
Okay. So, Prof, what shape or form will this dialogue take? Are we going to box all stakeholders in one room? Are we going to read letters, emails from stakeholders? Are we going to have groupings of this group to solicit for the ideas?
That is the reason why the committee was put in place, to plan how the dialogue should be organized and how it should be executed. So I believe that should be left with the committee. When the committee starts its work and perhaps put the structures and the framework in place, perhaps that will be the public about it. But for now, that I cannot see. We are yet to meet in this week to start the deliberation, and the framework will be designed and shared.
Okay. So as you acknowledged in your earlier submission, we've had these kind of dialogues over and over and over. How different is this 7-member committee work going to be from the previous ones we've had in this country?
I think the 7-member committee, its work is to plan the dialogue, and the 7-member committee will decide on who should be invited and who are the dialogue, and who are supposed to lead the plenary sessions, and then coming out with a common recommendation to be executed. So that is the indication of the instrument establishing the committee.
Okay, so Prof, I don't know if you listen to this argument. People of the view that the NDC 2024 manifesto was crafted at the background of soliciting views from Ghanaians, thus labeling it as the People's Manifesto. Now, after winning an election with the People's Manifesto, why do you go back to the same people to ask for the ideas on how to put the economy in shape?
Well, I believe you will know that if you are repeating something, it's because it was rewarding the process that you engage in. There was benefit in the century dialogue. Definitely, that will be this dialogue. I remember some stakeholders were not, and all the political parties that participated in the 2024 election were not consulted. MPP was not consulted. The other.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Prof, I can hear you.
At least this provides opportunity for the political parties to also come on board to make their voices heard on particular issues to be discussed. And I remember some of the things that were considered, some stakeholders may bring some other ideas that will be used to strengthen the policies that were put in the manifesto. So that is how relevant it is.
So are we getting the idea that those who were not featured in the crafting of the 2024 manifesto are the ones who are going to be engaged, or you are going to rewind the whole wheel again?
That is not the case. The point I'm making is that you are saying that we consulted people
Sure.
in the crafting the 2024
manifesto.
But you should also bear in mind that not all the people were consulted. And again, those people who were consulted, they have a reflection of how certain things should be done now, especially after the transition. New issues, new difficulties came on board. And those difficulties will have to be looked at from broader perspective of citizens. And that is why it is relevant to look at this nationalistic approach to coming out with specific policies to deal with the issues. For example, in the NDC manifesto, it is very clear that the NDC say that there is a need to come out with a sustainable source of funding the free SHS. And it made some proposals by reviewing the Petroleum Revenue Management Act and also enacting Natural Resources Revenue Management Law. But after that, some people are also talking about using a tax handle to create a specific resource for financing free SHS. This is not categorically stated in the NDC manifesto. So when you put this issue on board, people will come with different ideas to solidify the intention to create a sustainable source of funding free SHS. So that's to give you an example that even though there was consultation in the 2024 manifesto, there is still the need to consult to bring together different solution sets that we can agree on and move forward.
So can we then say that the John Mahama-led NDC government has now gotten the true picture of Ghana's economy after the transition?
Of course, yes. Some of the issues, you know that there were problems in some areas, but you do not know the depth of the problem, the scale of the problem, and that is understandable. If you're in charge of the economy, it's different from when you are not in charge. So further disturbing development have come up. We didn't know the level of the debt in the energy sector, but that was made very clear during the transition. And then we didn't know the level of arrears, but that was made known during the transition. And we didn't know the level of projects that were not completed. So all those things were known after the transition. So you will need to present these things to see how Ghanaians want those things to be delivered. And it's very important. In democracy, there should be inclusiveness. So it is important from time to time you create a platform for the citizens to feel included in the policies that are being used to govern the countries. So I believe it is relevant. It's going to help the country, and we will see good results.
So it then brings to bear that the NDC is likely to review its promises to Ghanaians, taking into consideration that they have now gotten the full picture of the Ghanaian economy. So they based on a hearsay to draft their manifesto to win the political power in 2024. Now getting to know the true and proper state of Ghana's economy, the government might be compelled to have some tweak to its promise to the people of Ghana.
I think you're not presenting the picture well.
Okay.
So, for example, in the banking sector, we know the ills that went on in the banking sector. But while you were thinking about 20, but it came out during transition that it is 90. Okay?
90 what?
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Okay.
That while you are in opposition and you knew that those problems existed. Remember, opposition political party has different way of trying to identify the problems. So the problems will not change, but the solution set can change somehow. So the policies will not change at all. The promises will not change, but the approach to addressing the promises, some will be added on through the dialogue, and then some will be shaped through the dialogue. Just as I gave you the example about the free SHS, the policy to make sure we get in and a sustainable source of funding the free SHS will not change, but the approach to do that can change through the dialogue.
Okay.
So those are the points I'm saying. So there will not be any new promises. The promises are solid. They will be implemented, but the approach to implement them may vary.
Okay, so Prof, grant me permission. We have also been joined by Honorable Kojo Pokma, the former Minister of Information and the Member of Parliament for Ofuase Ayebi. Honorable Akwabebi.
Of course, you didn't tell me that I'm doing this with
so no.
Anybody from the beginning.
Actually, it's not going to be a banter stuff. Yeah, Honorable Kojo Pokma.
Yeah.
You believe so failure, your fears have been answered.
Let me say good evening to Prof. And I respect his position that he didn't come in to do a banter. Neither did I come in to do a banter. He's a respected economist. We may disagree on some matters, but that's what democracy is about. There are about 3 things that Prof has mentioned in his submissions that I would like to quickly comment on. I earlier mentioned that the dialogue is a good thing. It's not the first time, it's a good thing. And the 2 things that we would share with them, and I don't think Prof will say it's bad advice, is that they should focus on the feasibility of the ideas, and then they should focus on implementation. And I believe that they'll be minded, or I hope that they'll be minded to do that. But we also mentioned that we are afraid that they are going to use it as a platform to say we didn't know this, and therefore some things have to be amended. As I've listened to him, I've heard him talk about the fact that we didn't know this until the transition. We didn't know this until the transition. I will respectfully disagree with him, because all the data that maybe he's saying that they have now found out at the transition has been available. For example, we are in Parliament. We are on the Finance Committee in Parliament. The Bank of Ghana comes to us. When they come, one of the questions we ask them about is asset quality. So the banking sector issues are issues that we have raised. So the members of the NDC on the Finance Committee who have participated in the manifesto, Mohamed Jumani said while they are participating there, they provide all of that information. So the NDC is deemed to be on notice. And so Moma Mfanko, Nasa Ne, or mobile transition, and a fee and penny for Nankasabi who data na, it doesn't give them justification so because they did not know. And depending on which specific data set, I'm sure say as the discussions go, we can draw their attention to where it is. For example, we call a budget more allocations for commitments. And then at the ministry levels, when the ministries appear for their budget hearing at Finance Committee, what is your commitment? And they provide those answers. So this is all information that's already available. So transition time, you can't now move into one document. Now it doesn't change the fact. So we will respectfully disagree with them. And we are saying, our fear is that they are going to use it to say, we don't know. And therefore, some things must change. He is suggesting that maybe the promises won't change, but what may change will be the approach.
The approach, yeah.
So that if it was a 4-year program, they'll say they'll do it in year 4. That would be 3 years of not fulfilling that particular promise. So we will look out for you. Use it as a platform too. Secondly, he mentions the fact that there are some new ideas after their manifesto. But that is why when you are going through a manifesto process, you're supposed to do broad consultations. They did and advertise their broad consultations. They have something they call the Ghana We Want. They listen to everybody and they put it together. If you now say that after that, somebody has come with an idea about a specific revenue handle, maybe to finance free SHSO, you want to get into a conversation to explore how to use that one, then you are moving away from the conclusions you came to when you did your manifesto. For example, consultation in every year, on the matter of expenditure cut, we came to the view that we should cut about 3% of GDP from expenditure. After that, there are people who said Treno was Rododo, Enko 2. There are some who said Treno or Form Dodo, Enko 4. But the point is that you teach you a commitment and your minor signing social contract. Say the contract has been consummated. And so say Ubi for the idea be about the sing kunyane agree. The only idea in the say the new tax be about to fund free SHSR. You are moving away from the social contract and the commitments that you made. And it also raises questions in Titama manifesto. What was the quality of the engagements and the quality of the decision Mumiki? But it's early days yet. Like we've said, we're in preliminary conversations. Omoko conference no mobile outcome, there being opportunity.
Okay. Prof, thank you very much for your time this evening.
No, I think I need to react
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's trite knowledge that I think the former minister is aware that some of the things that they did were not in the exact shape that they promised Ghanaians. They shaped them perhaps based on new information, etc. So getting new information and engaging new people to provide another dimension to how you need to execute a particular policy is not new. They have done it while they were in government, and it will be done during the national dialogue. And it's not bad at all. It's only to strengthen and to provide more, cogent approach to executing the policy that have been outlined in the manifesto.
Thank you very much for your time this evening, Prof.
I will say quick comment before I go. It's true. Yeah, we at a point moved away from some of the promises we had made. That's why they asked us at the polls. The people said to us at the polls that the promises you made to us, that's not what you delivered. You moved away from it. We explained, say, we need a fault, and economic conditions are up. The people said no. So that is why we are drawing the attention. So our politics of promise, win and switch. Oh, promise now we are now see many information for now we might who in Timasano. Dana for a better catch or so what I die on the punish at the end of the day. And that is the lesson we are sharing with them.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time this evening. See, Honorable Kojo Upon Kruma, a member of Parliament, Madisha of Wase Ayerebi, and a former Minister of Information, former Minister of Works and Housing. Dr. Patrick, Professor John Gachi, a member of the Economic Dialogue Committee. Yeah, President John Dramani Mama Tese, or Makekani Mamum Nayani Ghana for Asia, Nenu Biagin, Quebet Miafaso, Amo Mesikasem, Ejna Nena Suye, Osuye Ghana, and Yao can be a yim. Freniani and Como 0302 216-561 0302-216-561 0302-216-562 0302-216-561 216-562. Also, free for adventure Ebra na yankenkai emfa emao. We see Akwasisia, thank you. Good evening. We're not expecting any new thing from President John Dramani Mahama. It's the same old stories. As Sigrid Goffred, Edway Ifri Bogatanga, and now Ode Epaye. We see Ghanaians will surely remember NPP due to their good governance, legacy, vision, policy, solution. Mahama NDC to reset their country turned to revolution, lawlessness, nothing new, the same ministers. Felix Osafo Kantanka, Edway Free Worcester, USA, and Ode Ifri Epaye. We see Akwasi good evening. Okay, good evening. We say Akwasi, God bless you for the submission was solid. Jude M.A. Agri. And so they buy. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Me patrodin maybe a free.
This is my evangelist, my father. The first man I
open it.
Yeah. The medical necessity. The necessity. Also very special. I'm people. So, about content is state project, government in a year. Not only work as a fine, work as the SNL. On those to you could to my dry if he has said Baba or Mama could to me.
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Bye.
Me patrodin maybe a free.
Obanjan,
Boko now, sir.
Ajan
Aja Yanko.
Because everyone from Coberia. You are Mr. Misaka, Mr. Rawad, the General Secretary, and Haja Safia Mohammed. You, and this Boma was a one way. Woma Sajan and Nanzo.
Wapacho.
Woma go to police key. Ya know he. What can someone can see? Yes, I go. And did you make a pan on Basoyan, a woman to Yatin? And did you obey no patch out? And there's any Yadu obey to buy you. I see a man of punishment to be pa no Jadi or Yan and Penifuano. Do Yanni Aqua buy you on Mudi. Then you go ahead woman to Kirko. Because woman I say yes.
ne bibia wo mo na eye to bekasa aya won kasa yi no nya de oyeye no emo no pene bibia no onya sa bye bye.
Hello, good evening. Hey. Hello, good evening.
Abazi?
Obani.
Hey, this is one neighbors ni.
Nani yanko nana.
Konfa wudi
Kobi.
O man president Akufo-Addo no.
Okay.
Former president driver baako. Ni maame, dem ndebe abra bejaye. Agunan saba. Wudi mo. We are something to know agunan saba. So ni mo.
Uro midi wachia.
Bra
Yanko.
Mati buru si. Na me kasa se tombodu chairmanship no. You know general secretary could you also still maintain? Yes. And to be kind of deputy no. No. Yeah, wouldn't be dialogue. I mean, no need you know my kasa. Former Western Housing Minister. Okay, kasa ye pa. Nanso owa bem no. When you remember take Ghana form mudi nyama diabro. Ebi ameko okwati. Yenia ministers no yem mubi. Information say wo ho. Wokọ mo ko no information ma mu a. We so mo wa si ntino. Papa ne kasa ye wotimi tam. No. Information, who nya adwuma no. That's you call it more. Former minister kasa say. Adwuma ye kase a wuye communicators ye doso. Enti mu tawro. What chances are the Musasha with them the worker is a worker is him. A dollar really on the what's about them? Because we saw some pantewa. What trouble is Aranga? You know, when you're a claim. Any other Yamaka, any negligence, an idea woo, or never share then we should gather for one to a swanson. Would be your Samuel Korea. Bishop name was the best.
May I say hello, good evening.
You're from Isaac.
I can patriote you.
Yeah, boss.
I can patrol lower radio. Okay. Lower radio. Okay. Hey, Ike.
Hello, boss.
Yanko.
Hello.
Pacho Yanko.
Boss. Ghana, you're yeni. She's what's working dialogue. Okay, forum. In the court case, we join Kofutu. What for Ghana's car? What's it? They are not interested in the case again. Now, who is the chief clearance? Who is the chief clearance agent? Hey, who papa? Say, Obi did the and what said so woman here. Honest way jail 10 years here. Honest up down pay. Obey in the case of police case. Ghana Monshe. Woman Yanshe journalist. Monsor. No Moncasa or the man. I'm who there in the Bianca the Massimi war radio so. Opuni in a Selu Tankos a Gongo. Yeah, yes. Woman Jao. Billions of cities. No, yeah, but no, what's all that? You buy a offend looting. Ora, the miskin now, with John Ghana Momayan Shay, Ghana for someone, Ghana and someone. Okay,
let us say hello, good evening. Opening Patriotis and African.
I am them for Alaji.
Oh, Alaji Gado Yanko.
You, Mammy, care for your market. Any just to put a legion board to make your money. I got this year. Media, I dear Mr. and said, ya two abano boom, Ama, His Excellency John Daman Mahama. And I'm more promise or more promise Ghanaian. Say, or more bar, Umbama and who to about him. Yena, ya penisa. Enti ebesre ma teacher say o si o hia Ghana me bia say yan fa jinkiran bra say the dollar no beba for me bo ana ya pa but mbo pan hunu bi emano because aye ma yina agigon so agigon magana fo yina but boss no a mo se magana fo no Ghana fo anya gidie na rushemu nti omumbo modina omuntimi tutu nyama no yie na omuye de Ghana fo no kuma peno na omuye magana fo na media best me party paying for NPP omuntutu nyama yie na 2028 no na yansambeji tineno na omuntutu nyama yie magana fo
okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, mini ya ma pomo.
Boko na nso e.
Alhamdulillah.
Ya da nyame ase. Pacho ni
se na fe. Yes, ya Michiano.
Abate.
Alaji Saka se o Chiano.
Okay.
Mini ya ma. Ya me ma se ne ni Adom. Se ya Ghanaians. NDC for opposition ni se ya on ma samba. Obi an so se NPP on mo buy on ma be ye ma pa. Promise aye promise ye no. Ka che gado se ye be disuni na ye bibia ne bibia ko so pepepe. Edu sal ni our United States of Asama. Mitia Nura na Nuru kwa muni na Michelle bia. Salam
alaikum salam. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yes, evening.
Me pacho ni sana free.
Me pacho Grace da kuman.
Grace pacho yet you.
Me pacho e ba dini show.
Me dance.
E wa di ma pa wuti. Many mwe bia ma ye di wa. Me pacho pini. They say me ta some kaka.
Okay.
This the family. Oh yeah, another prayer me in the room I do MP. If I show in medical home, my mother may pass on. I'll show be
okay, inti speaker bema direction. No, the direction across by Amponia. If you call for say you're dragging before the privileges committee, if Seban is a whole and a decision we have be free diaba.
You said me if I show P. You query the about James 4:19, 17. You query the about my only papa one and a bonema. One can say, often say, or no near Bema. And nanny husband. You know, this I can say, Trena, Benedict. Uncle say, near, why you no. Why not? Why not the cry? It is a middle home, my one fan in person.
Okay.
Oh, if you any husband, nka obetina kasa. Keso tumi se fa na o tumi tie. Ne pa me ante tene sa. Ne mo na etumi de wababenya.
Okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Pacho na free odi ni say.
Me ka say I cook it down. Some do the do. Mapo, kalo.
Yanko.
Me da say. Yeah, honorable, how do na on my brain your mama waba. Yeah, but man. Yeah, but man ka crazy. No more sakra. Yan ka no ka say. Me ya fu MPP. We dey talk about man. I quote it down. Me ya fu MPP but they are last year I don't want to be MPP. And this year now be NDC. Me ya member, me ya voting voter. But me ya a man na kwa ani ye dey true. And me say Ghana for your mama dan me e ho kaka yenso ama pen your mama Ghana be ye santo so me santo mo santo for mo Ghana bebre aye huko bebre only Captain Smart
Merasi nyame nshira. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, me nua Kofi Sia wo se hwan I few din no
Akwasi Sia pa jodi ni sana free
Mami mo abaso ni ejima pa.
That's pacho lower radio no, lower radio.
Lower na mo. Say.
Yeah, medasi.
Me di ajima makasa fi ko fodia. Da so ko kubu ato to so me ensa empeso aso. My coach be fi krom. Na me ni ha insia. Won o man na etimu no. Mo peni ekufu ado bai. Ya see be catch for seat. Na Ghana for your mo peni ekufu ado. That Roman Kola over 5 million and your free education. Say, so papa pay and opuni, you opuni say that don't go see Catitri. Let me like near my hospital. Say, I scrum and collateral. Let's see, papa and funny one cody. I will host some more my team. A pay back, and I'm a babin fighting corruption. And now, to me and sample in a one man bush up from Ghana. And they say that don't go near your free of some first scanning cody. ye hu Ghana no no e mabu nam enye dwuma nye e pesika da mo ye dwuma ye no ne kokko board ku because of opportunity ne tumi nka e na kokka na mrantie ne maba watata obi prowaku mama mreso ye ne ekoso Ghana na bia me kasa MB before ne di e wan bro the party dwuma kufu ado ayi ma man Ghana nko to aba me nko me buafu enere ne yehu eni yehu o mamu and that's a manfo so pani scrum pani nim na ne Ghana aye enti awuni ajima gofo da nyankopon hira.
But I say hello, good evening.
Fine evening.
Open the Chodin South Africa.
Pacho midindi Ali Taliban. Mi frefi ablu mama here bajo yam.
Ali Bachete.
Otu fanya kupo anyam kasi. Ye besre NDC. Any President John Dramani Mahama. Aka mi ko friend former. Iso ye president. Ya to abano amano. Say one bra no be bo on no. Senior Excellency Nana Adudan Kwakufadu. Any MPP bo on mine yama echo school free. After now, near John Daman for President John Daman Mama. Oh yeah. You best MP before so be brave. And then one young was you. Munkoto about me to me yes. Yanyan do baby oh. Mother. Yeah, 6 months, echo 1 year. Yeah, and himself, former President John Dramani Mama, the only the Papa Pia with my year, a war my Ghana. This MP, Yan, not 2028, Yambeji to Mino, no Yantua on my Yama or mine, Uncle.
I'm a fat, my last caller. Hello, good evening.
Oh, my bro, Nini, I'm something.
Hey, Ashama Lady Kafra.
Many of them, many idea, my papa.
Kafra.
Mammy chair lawyer, Zuma, let's go, my penny. Papa, Gapua director, maybe a song for man. Or what dash to Papa, Mr. Mampini, part on for man. Many of them are. MVP before Nancy, I'm moving power, then do 2 months. One manu de dede amukasase. O mampeni mahama oba no wanya busumi. Onya 1 month kai. E na muye de say. One year ka onya. Ghana afford the 2 me mamu for 8 good years. Eni geni ubomu mfa mati mamu for. Mo president do years ya. E no di sa himfo mo sorry ansa na mati an. Mo ministers eni mo MPs mo fa uboni eni de mati mamu for. Ene mu ye de say mo be ba 2020 ahin 8. Mo forget kra president mama ba waba oba beye o many ye me say ba mama bai menua wamba ma NDC oba ma Ghana because oba ni 4 years oba infrastructure ni juma obeye o memu and today na MB boy no MB mama won temu ono focus o juma obeye abo o menu be tumpo akwa enim no ono na oju hu menua e me fast mu na MPP for na o mo aja boss te mama o pam no me say mama me say the president papa waba on forget it that na MPP for ka because the dia anji papa ye say ngi tire ta na ti fo bu abenu say bio e me fa o so keke no kaka dia MP na MP ne kacha ye man penyi mama say o ye no mi ma o man Ghana
Mi ado matsuma suma za bakro mi abema mazunje. Mi ado matsuma suma za bakro mi abema mazunje.